All right. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
God, fabulous. How about you?
Well, not that good, but I'm good.
You are good. You are good. So I'm starting this series because the Strawberry Festival
Yes,
is right around the corner. How many days do we have left?
20
Something.
something.
We have 20 something days left, and it's going to be here for you know.
Exactly.
So I'm going to do this series called Faith and Festival,
Okay.
and we're going to tie it in because, first of all,
Well, you started to say family, so
I
faith,
did. Faith,
family,
family,
and festival. They all go together.
Absolutely, because that is exactly what defines the festival
Exactly.
itself. So I thought we were going to start this whole thing off with Mr. Paul Davis.
Yes,
Yes, because I'm sure there's things about Mr. Paul Davis that we want to know.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like I don't have a good side. She found that out. She said, "Which is your good side?" I said, "None."
You
So
do have a good side. It's all over. That's why we put you right there.
perfect.
Yes. Okay, so first of all, for people that don't know Mr. Paul Davis, and it's not the Paul Davis you see on the truck riding down the road for construction company.
I put that out on Match.com. That's me.
That's you. No, it's not. But Mr. Paul Davis, what's your role here at the Strawberry Festival?
I am general manager, but they changed that title to president, but basically run the day-to-day operations. And I have such a phenomenal team around me, they kind of run me. I mean, if you ask me how many days, the days are running together. We're doing
Yeah.
something every single day. I just had a meeting with Tico about all of our electrical needs for the festival and the new exciting things we're bringing this year. And
Top
I'm leaving.
secret? Anything we can leave?
Oh,
out?
we can tell it all.
Oh.
Well, we'll just make up stuff. And I said, y'all missed it. It was yesterday. But if you, and then I leave here and go to a final walkthrough on a construction project we've been doing. So it's just kind of every single day. But the excitement builds. We get excited, and I got to tell you, if we're not excited, nobody's going to be excited to come here.
Absolutely. And I know yesterday I was driving by and I already saw the midway starting to happen.
Oh, it's
and
happening.
I was a giddy. I was like a little kid.
We're
doing
building a
happy
little
clap.
city. We're building
Yeah.
a little city, and when you stop and think about it, we're in a town of, let's say, 35,000 people, and we bring 550,000 people here. That's not counting the 1,000 people that live here during that 3-week period, building our fair, running the rides, running all the vendors, the foods, fill up all of our hotels and all of our restaurants, and they get their tires done in the city. I mean, it's just they buy groceries. It's just a great feeling to be part of that. And the city is so welcoming to us. Without them, we would be nothing.
Well, without the festival, Plant City would be a smaller town than it is.
Sometimes that's not a bad thing.
Exactly.
We start fighting the traffic.
Exactly.
But we're excited, and you know what? Our neighbors love us. Almost every one of our neighbors benefit because we couldn't handle the parking. They handled the parking. The track, I mean, it's a huge impact on them. Tomlin, I mean, I'm scared to tell you how much money they make in parking. I know.
I don't miss those days of
No,
parking either. I'm
because
sorry.
everybody are volunteering. Their students get community service hours, and it's a big boost
It is.
to that school.
It is. It's wonderful. And for
Right.
the elementary school that's right here on the corner
Big
as well.
time, yes.
Absolutely. So you're president now, and how long have you been in this position? Because
15 years.
You've got a foot out the door.
I do, and you know, I was so blessed. I was blessed to get the job. Number one, I worked here 32 years at the sheriff's office, and while I was at the sheriff's office, did security. I worked every single show here, and absolutely loved it. And it was just a natural segue going right into what I was doing. And one of the directors asked me, he says, "Why would we hire you, a sheriff's deputy, and put you in here to run this mammoth operation?" It's about a $14 million year-round deal. And I said, "Well, that's a great question, and I'm glad you asked." I said, "You can hire somebody from Minnesota, Kansas City, Michigan, anywhere you pick, and they're not going to know what that red coat means to this community, what it means to you, and what it means to me." I said, likewise, my earliest childhood memories were coming to the Strawberry Festival when I was a child. And I grew up loving this place. And I was excited every year when it came. And then my 32 years at the sheriff's office, I was so excited to work this event. I took vacation to work it. And I gotta tell you, I mean, I saw friends here that I only saw here once a year.
And it's like a family
It
reunion.
is,
every
it
year.
is. I mean, it's just a great opportunity. The first 2-3 days, you're hugging everybody here. Oh my gosh, I haven't seen you in so long. And that, I think, is what makes us different than every other fair I've visited.
Absolutely. And speaking of hugging, it was, we were the very last festival for COVID.
Yes,
And we were the very first festival
yes.
after COVID. And so we never missed a beat.
Well, we missed some beats. I mean, we had to adjust, and I got to say, our board, you just have to know. I mean, I went to the board and I said, "Here's the deal. We're got 50% of the people think we should just shut the doors and do nothing. 50% of the people are begging us to open the doors and have a festival." And I said, "I can assure you, what we do, we're going to be safe. That's priority one." And with the help of Lawrence McClure and some other people, we got on the phone and in personal meetings with. This is how Plant City I am. Lawrence McClure set up this phone call because we weren't getting a lot of help.
State representative.
Yeah, with the CDC, and they would just say, "Go to our website," and it just basically said, wash your hands, wear clean underwear, just the regular stuff.
Yeah.
That was my mom that said that. Got a little confused.
Don't get an accident without clean underwear.
Exactly. But they just weren't helping us, and we were the first big fair in the country that was going to open, and that was not lost on us. I got a call from the head of NICA, which is the National Independent Concessionaires Association. She says, "I can't believe you are opening. We are so proud. Everyone else has kicked the can down the road." She goes, "You guys are visionaries." And I said, "Well, we're kind of guinea pigs.
Yeah.
Because if we mess it up, they're going to be saying, 'Man, don't do what those goof guys did down in Florida,' because everybody got sick." So I couldn't get help. I called Lawrence and Mr. McClure, our state representative, and he said, "Are you available tomorrow for a call at 2 o'clock in the afternoon?" I said, "Yes, sir." So we're on a call, and there's like 9 people on this call. Doug McGinnis, our chairman of the board, and I were sitting there. And everybody kind of went around on the phone and identified themselves. "I'm Bill. I'm here in Tallahassee. I'm so-and-so. I'm here." And so I said, "Bill, what do you do?" He goes, "Well, I'm the Florida's Attorney General." I didn't even know we had an Attorney General. I do now. And I'm looking online. I'm like, "There he is. That's him." And the other person says, "I'm the head of the national or the state health." And then I talked to Dr. Holt, the Hillsborough County Director of Health, and everybody was supportive, and everybody told us, "We're going to give you some tough things to do, but if you want our opinion, we're going to give it to you straight." And Dr. Holt really opened our eyes on ways to keep people safe. We went out and spent about $600,000 and made all of our sinks, no touch. We built plexiglass between the customers and the people, and we did so many things different. Bought 1 million face masks and gave them to everybody that came in. Got the school seniors, we gave them money to hold a sign, "Wash your hands, please wear a mask," and give them a mask. We had bought 100 hand sanitizing stations, and it was a nightmare, but we walked around and made every one of our vendors wear a mask. We made sure they wiped down all their frequently touched surfaces.
Which should be a habit.
It should be a habit. You know what? But washing your hands should be a habit.
Please do.
But there are people that don't do that.
Wash your hands.
Yes, wash your hands, please. Or I'll get Lawrence McClure to get you on a call.
That's right.
But we actually, it kind of helped us because now we can go around and make sure we're even cleaner than we ever were.
Absolutely.
And California State Fair came to our fair. New York State Fair came. And
They wanted to
said,
see how you
they said,
did.
how are you doing this? We can't even have a wedding on our grounds. And I said, well,
Thank you. We live
Governor
in Florida.
DeSantis,
Yes.
he actually came to the fair.
Yeah.
And this is the great part. I was, with all these contacts, I was on the actual numbers of how many reported cases were happening every single day. And during our run, the cases went down every day from like 25,000 the first day in Hillsborough County. By the end of the festival, we were down to like 10 or 12,000. And I'm thinking, man, we're not a cause, we're not a super spreader, which is what everybody gets scared
Right.
of.
Exactly.
The Super Bowl was happening the same time in Tampa, and they limited a lot of their things, and we actually limited our main stage entertainment, and a lot of that because some of the big time entertainers didn't want to travel. We were all scared to death of COVID. Let's be honest. I mean, I have friends that got COVID, and I was thinking they're going to die for sure. I mean, we were so afraid of it, and I don't want to say we overreacted, because I think we did exactly what we needed to do. We had a phenomenal fair, and this is what I love, Stephanie. He probably wouldn't mind me saying his name, Dennis Lee, who's one of our staples here. He's been here 40 years. He called me and he said, Paul, the last paycheck I got was the Strawberry Festival.
Wow. A whole
He said,
year
and
without.
you're the first paycheck I'm getting again. He said, God bless you.
Yeah.
And so many of Miss Eleni's vendors couldn't even pay because they hadn't been anywhere in a year. And a lot of them paid, which we're not supposed to do, but like their first weekend they made a payment. And then by the end of the festival they were paid and they made some money.
That's good.
So we actually did really good. And I mean, my entertainment where I put a new stage right in front of our stage for free entertainment, and then all of our seats were like 6 feet apart. And here's the thing, I hired people to come in after every show
Clean it.
and sanitize every chair, everything we did. Every microphone was sanitized before someone else talked on it. We did so many little things, and it was probably, Doug McGinnis and I laughed. I'm excited. You go look at our urinals. We had no touch urinals, and we put plexiglass up between them.
Little things in life
I mean,
that make
and I
you
said,
happy.
it's really, it's kind of sad. We're excited about that.
Yeah. But it's just like anything in life. That was just a test.
Sure.
And how you overcome situations.
Absolutely.
And
Are we
how
gonna
we
get
do
biblical
things.
now?
We
gonna
are.
get
We don't
biblical.
get
I
no
can feel it.
scripture on us.
I went to church.
Come on.
Let me hear it.
But no, you think about how anytime we go through difficult times in life, and we're always relying on Jesus.
Oh, always.
And we always lean on Him. Well, not that our volunteers are Jesus in any way, but thank the Lord, so many of them do have Jesus, because I think that's probably and hopefully what other festivals recognize when they come here.
I hope so.
Is how our community, the volunteers, how many volunteers do we have?
2,800. Anywhere from 25 to
volunteers.
28. Yeah.
And
I don't know anywhere else in the country
No.
that has that. You're a volunteer.
oh, absolutely,
And we
in
use
many
her a lot.
areas. And I think that it's
She cleans
people
the
like.
restroom.
I did no, I don't clean the restrooms, but I did clean one in the parking trailer today, though. But it was that people see that, and it's
Oh, yeah.
hospitality, and it's service, and that as Christians, that's what we're supposed to do.
Every
anyhow.
single meeting we have, we start with a prayer. Every morning we have devotions in our office. And if you don't want to come, you don't have to.
Right.
That's fine with us. I'm not even offended by that. Everybody has the right to believe how they want to believe. I choose to follow the Lord, and I'm excited we have that. I think that has saved us so many times. I'll never forget when the Oak Ridge boys were here, and that's a shock they're here almost every year. They're our favorites. I mean, they come in we know them. It's like old home week.
And they'll be here the first Thursday.
Exactly. But shameless plug,
Yes.
Elvira. So, yeah. So, make a long story short.
Wait, long story short?
Yeah, which I don't. I
Wait a
know.
minute.
But I'm sitting here with the fire department and we're watching the radar, and there's this unbelievable, horrible, just flood coming towards us. it gets to Brandon, and we're 20 minutes before the Oak Ridge Boys, and it was a lot of people, probably 3,000, 4,000 people. And the fire marshal's looking at it and goes, yeah, we got to watch for lightning. We're getting concerned. And of course, I'm sitting there watching it with him, and it just goes like this and goes around us.
Yeah.
We didn't get a
That's
drop.
what it does to my house all the time.
Yeah, just when you plant stuff.
I know.
We didn't get a drop.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to tell you, that means you're living right.
That's right.
That means you're
Absolutely.
living right.
Now, you mentioned that you grew up coming to the festival.
I did.
What was one of your favorite or earliest memories of coming to the festival?
My mother would drop us off at gate 16. I don't know what the number was then.
Mm-hmm.
She would drop us off and give us whatever money we had at the time, and she would look at her watch. The Timex was ticking,
Mm-hmm.
and she would say, "I will be here at 6 o'clock. You better be standing here."
Mm-hmm.
And we were.
Mm-hmm.
And with a surfer cross to give her or something, big jewelry. So when I came here, I thought, man, if we could emulate that again, if people could feel safe to have their families come up here. And I think we've always strived for that. But I think we're doing more now than ever. I mean, we really go out of our way. We spend a lot of money, well over $500,000 in security.
And I believe that's what
Well
people feel. They say that after coming to other festivals and people even out of state
Right.
and other countries, that this festival is safe. And I think one of the main reasons, is because we don't serve alcohol on the grounds.
That is 32 years in law enforcement. I've probably been in 100 fights at Tampa Stadium, but they're always involving somebody with alcohol.
Right.
Someone got overserved, and someone is just, they ruin it for everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if people could drink a glass of wine with their dinner and go on about their life, there's always that one person that just really ruins it for everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
We try to keep that from happening, and we really go out of our way to keep all of our acts family friendly. And as you might guess, that's a hard job anymore. I mean, people accept a lot more things now than they ever have.
Yeah.
And we try not to do that. And we try to have something for every generation, every taste. We really go hard to do that.
Absolutely. So speaking of childhood, and I don't know, you could have been an adult when this happened. Do you remember whenever you had that transformation in your life and asked Jesus into your heart?
Twice, actually. I do. I remember when I was young. Of course, my mother would hold me underwater in baptism every day because I needed it. But Bill, my brother, never. He was the bad guy. He was the bad one. I might have transversed that.
Did you hear that, Bill?
I might have transversed that a little bit.
Yeah.
But early on, my mother was a Methodist, and we had to go to Methodist churches and MYF, Methodist Youth Fellowship. I went with Sherry and Lori Kirkland.
Okay.
I think you know who they are. And then we moved on to, I like to play bingo, so.
Isn't that the Catholic?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, but probably when I was 12 or 13, I did. And then again when I was probably 40, I guess. I saw a lot of miracles in my life. And,
I bet.
you talk
As a
about Bible
sheriff.
verses and stuff, and I think they're, I don't want to say they're just so many things to so many people. And there's so many different verses that people use to fit whatever situation they're going through. And a lot of people find comfort in that. A lot of people find guidance. And a lot of people just, to me, there's so many different Bible verses out there that I would use. Like I would go up on a crash and the ambulance is 20 minutes away and you're just trying to keep somebody alive. And you always have to say a prayer.
Yeah.
Because you can't do it yourself.
Right.
Now I said many Bible verses going up to houses.
So when you were 40, you rededicated.
Yeah, I just did. I just saw so many. Probably around 37 or something. I'm only 41 now.
Oh, well.
So
This is a Christian.
there's a Bible verse for that too.
Right
Forgive
here,
me. Forgive me.
Well, good. So working at the festival
Yes.
and being a Christian man that you are, how have you seen, well, you gave us an example with the Oak Ridge Boys, but have you seen other areas of faith in the festival throughout your career here.
I have. You know, we're talking about Bible verses, but we're talking with Doug McGinnis,
He's
who
a Sunday school teacher.
I find is probably one of the most he's just such a classy human being. I mean, I tried to emulate him. I mean, I really, the guy is just, he is so
Solid
awesome.
rock,
He is
man.
solid. And he was our chairman during the COVID years, and we couldn't have had a better person. I mean, his prayers are so heartfelt. I mean, I would just get teary-eyed listening to him.
Yeah, you want to say amen afterwards.
And then he'd say, "Are you tearing up?" I said, "Yeah, that was too long. You know, you can't. You got to be a man." Yeah, I didn't fall, but you know, I actually God got us through that. There's no question. We were very successful, and people all over the country were congratulating us, and we were congratulating ourselves because this was not easy. This was a tough decision. The board made it, and it wasn't unanimous. There were people thinking, "I'm kind of scared. We need to lay people off. We need to close. We need to do this." And then I said, "I assure you that if we can't do it safe, we're not going to do it." And I said, "I give you my word. We're going to go out and do whatever it has to." And this was Dub also. We're going to do everything we have to do to make this safe and make you proud. And every director helped. Every single one. I mean, that's the beauty of this town. They wear that festival shirt and walk around these grounds and get stopped 100 times. Can you help me? And they always stop to help.
Absolutely. Now, a while ago I mentioned that you got one foot out the door.
Yes.
And I don't think it's any surprise because we already have somebody that's been kind of on your coattails coming into the office, Mr. Kyle Robinson.
He's not going to be as good. No, actually.
He probably just won't talk as much.
That's a good thing. Ask my staff. And our staff meeting to say, "Look, we want to go to lunch. We started at 8.
Yeah. So what are your plans?
Well, let me just go back to Kyle first. You know, I actually told the board, I said, and I talked to Kyle first. Kyle and I talked about this for 4 or 5 years. You know, when I was a lieutenant back in the day, I made him a detective. And I really didn't know that he would be the right fit because it was a narcotics detective. Kyle is the boy next door. You know, I said, "He can't go buy dope." I was wrong. He was probably the best detective I had at the time. And he just rose through the ranks. And he followed me in several different positions at the sheriff's office. And every single one, he did a better job than I did. And I see that happening here. You know, he's young, he's energetic, he's got all these ideas. He can't wait for the old guy to get out of the way so he can get him going. And I'm just excited for him. And I told him one thing. I said, "I'll tell you this, I'm not going to badmouth you. I'm not ever going to second guess you. I'm going to support you. But you can count on, just like when you work for me, I'm going to tell you what I think. And then you do with it what you will." And I have the confidence that he will lead us into the next 20 years. He really, like me, his earliest childhood memories were coming here. He is from Plant City. He knows what that red coat means to these people. He knows what this festival means to this community. And more importantly, we have become such a good neighbor. I mean, I could make $200,000 just selling beer. And I don't. You know, for the reasons we've listed before. I don't mind if you have a drink somewhere else. This is a family event. Bring your family. And we promise you we're going to do our best to keep it that way.
Bring your families, March
Bring your
2nd
family.
through the 12th.
Exactly. And, you know, going back to that, he also knows, because he's had that security background, that it starts with security. I mean, we really have people who love to come out and cause a problem. And I can tell you, we go out of our way. The way they do it, the intelligence they use, and far more than I could ever do back in the day. They can tell you that people are talking about having a problem here way before it happens, and they prepare for that. And we saw that several years ago, where there was some people with gang affiliations that were talking amongst themselves about coming up here from another city, and I was amazed at how good they did. And I won't go into details. We knew who every one of them were. We knew what they were driving. We knew when they got here. And they approached them right before they all came in. somebody threw a gun here and somebody threw a knife here, and I mean, just amazing when they put that together and it worked.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of stuff they're doing every single day. There are plainclothes people at almost every gate watching, and they see a problem. They'll follow them and get people to say, hey, we need to get these people out of here.
Mm-hmm.
They're causing a problem.
Just like another biblical tie-in, all the
Exactly.
security. We find
Exactly.
security and comfort and protector in our.
Well, you
in
know,
our
there is
protector.
a couple of Bible verses, you know,
Oh, quite
you should
a few.
fear me. He doesn't carry the sword for nothing, you know.
So to answer my question,
Yes.
though, what are you going to do next?
I don't know. I'll probably drive my wife nuts
Well,
for
yeah,
a little while.
Okay.
For a little while. I thought about maybe selling real estate, and I thought about, I don't know.
You got grandbabies.
That's the joy of my life. I have 10 grandchildren,
Yeah.
and I'm going to sure spend a lot of time with them. My second oldest grandson is my assistant. I bought him a shirt and had a strawberry face that says Papa's assistant.
Oh, cute.
And boy, he wears that with pride. And
I
he comes
bet.
and rides around in the golf cart. Kind of a tradition on opening, the night before opening. And he just makes sure everything's in its place.
That's good.
And he lives for that.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, to me, that's what it's all about. It really is. If you can just spend time with your family, and that's something I'm looking forward to. I left the sheriff's office on a Friday, started here on a Monday.
Hmm.
I don't take
Yeah,
a lot of
right.
vacation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is my hobby.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of looking forward to spending some time with my grandkids, doing something. But I'm gonna work and do something.
Because life is short. And speaking
Very
of
short.
grandbabies and faith,
Yes,
I know recently you've had a scare with a grandbaby.
I have, and
Can you talk about that?
sure. I mean, my daughter is a nurse,
Mm-hmm.
and her son was born, and well, actually, thank goodness she's a nurse, and thank goodness she was where she was. She works in Mother Baby at Lakeland, and she was in there, and all those doctors are the same ones that deliver the babies, and they all know each other on a first name basis. And she had a pain in her side. She wasn't due for a month, and the doctor said, "Morgan, what are you doing?" And she goes, "I just had a little pain." He goes, "No, let's go in this room here," and he hooked her up and said, "That baby's in distress. We need to do this now." And when he was born, it was a code blue. They're all running and take him right out of the room into intensive care. And, you know, I mean, stopped breathing many times. And, I mean, that's a God thing. It happened at work.
Yeah.
And a God thing that we're there to take care of him. And after 2 weeks, they said, we need to send him to New Mars Children's Hospital in Orlando, where she stayed for 60-something days. And,
Wow.
and, you know, I get tears just thinking
Yeah.
about it. But she wouldn't leave that baby. She'd sleep in a chair holding that baby's
And
hand.
she had other babies at home.
Oh, yeah. Well,
You're home.
Cheryl and I, every time I had a day off, we would drive over there. And if you drive to Orlando, you know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
That will bring out some Bible verses. So,
Or something other
or you be repenting. But it's a nightmare to get over there. But we were there every chance, and we would take her 1-year-old, and then and this was where first time I ever experienced Ronald McDonald House. There's a Ronald McDonald House
Yeah,
cooked up with that,
fabulous.
and although she didn't stay in the room, she stayed with the baby. She could go over there. My wife would stay with the baby, and she would go over there, visit her 1-year-old in the room, take a shower, eat, and then come back. And I got to tell you, 60-something days. But he just recently had a major surgery, and a little scare a couple days ago. They had to run him back to New Mars, but he's doing so good.
Good, I know.
And he
There's
is
been
the
a lot of
sweetest. He's probably the sweetest kid. You know, he just loves to cuddle, and you know, he's
Yeah.
nothing better. And you know, when I was over there, I just felt the prayers.
Yeah.
You feel the prayers, and you know that God's doing something in this
Yeah.
child. He's got a reason. This kid's here for a reason,
Uh-huh.
and you
Can't
feel
wait
it.
to see what it's going to
I'm
be.
telling you, he's awesome.
That's so good.
He's awesome.
Well, I want to thank you.
Oh, thank
Thank
you.
you for bringing family and faith and festival and tying it all together. And we pray great blessings for you.
Well, I can't thank you enough for
whenever
that.
you're finished with all of this, but you're not really going to
Oh
be
no, I'll
finished.
still
You're going
be
to be
around.
involved.
I'll still get around some Smeaty's corn dogs.
Oh, absolutely.
Or Colossal. I don't want to just pick one.
Yeah.
You know.
So, thank you.
Thank you.
And we love you, we appreciate you, and we can't wait for everyone to come to the festival.
Hey, come see us here. And I'm telling you, for the price of a movie, you can be entertained all day.
All day.
That's
Yes.
a fact. And we have new stuff you have never seen here. We didn't have time to get into that, but
Is there
you just
one
have to
little-
come and
Is
see
there
it.
one little secret?
We have this jet ski. It rides over a pool, and they do all kind of aerobatics and flips. And
Are we
Bring
gonna
your bathing
see? Are we gonna
suits.
see you on that?
yeah, bring your. Yeah, I'm gonna swim.
Okay.
I'll be the lifeguards in
There you go.
So that's one of the things we have. But we have a lot of things. And we have acts that have never been here. We have free entertainment. I mean, we've gone out of our way. We have the world's largest traveling Ferris wheel.
Mm-hmm.
We're calling it the Very Big Wheel.
Okay.
It's 153 feet up. It travels on about 12 semis, and it's an enclosed cage. So even people that are afraid of heights are good in it. I rode on that in South Carolina.
You let that one out of the bag.
And
I wasn't
I'm
gonna say
so
that's
excited
good.
we're going to have that. You should be able to see Tampa and beyond.
No,
And
that'd be
you know,
cool.
it's a family ride. Bring your kids. It's not going to be on the regular Midway. It's going to be on our side because we want families
Picturesque
to come up.
moment for sure.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And you can be up there and broadcast live from up there.
There you go. All right, that's it.
Come see us.
Have a good one.